Okay, so now, equation of a perpendicular bisector. Before you go into the equation of a perpendicular bisector, you must be very good at writing the equation of a line. Okay, so especially writing the equation of a line when you have a point on the line and you have the gradient of that line. Okay, so we'll be using this formula here: y minus y1, that is equal to m into x minus x1 for the equation of a line. Okay, now, when we say equation of a perpendicular bisector, you must be very clear about this perpendicular bisector. So the first thing you must know, you must remember that this perpendicular bisector is basically a line. Okay, now there is a perpendicular bisector. Okay, does it look like perpendicular bisector? Okay, so perpendicular bisector. Okay, now when I say that the red line is a perpendicular bisector of the white line, then there should be two conditions that have to be satisfied. First of all, this red line should be passing through, suppose this is the point A here, this is the point B here. So this red line should be passing through the midpoint M of this line AB. So this is like bisecting the line AB. So that is why we say this is the bisector, okay? And the second condition is that it should be bisecting in such a way that there should be a right angle over here, and that is why we say that this is perpendicular. So when we say perpendicular bisector, so these two things should be happening. One is it this like the red line over here should be dividing the line into two halves. So that means indirectly passing through the midpoint of this line AB, and secondly, making a right angle. Now, suppose if we have the coordinates of the point A, let's say this point is 2, comma 5, and this point B is, let's say, minus 4, comma, and this is 9, let's say, okay? So this is minus 4, comma 9. We have to write down the equation of this red line. So you see that when you have to write the equation of a line, you should have at least one point onto that line. So yes, we have this point M. We can find the coordinates of point M quickly. So that is a midpoint of these 2 points A and B. So this is going to be 2 plus minus 4 over 2, comma 5 plus 9 over 2. So that is the point M. Okay, so this is going to be minus 1, comma 7. So that is how you find this midpoint. It is minus 1, comma 7. Okay, and then the second thing is that you have to find the gradient. We have got a point onto this line. This is M. The next thing is the gradient. Okay, so we can find the gradient of AB. Yes, let's find that. That's no problem. So the gradient would be y2 minus y1, that is 9 minus 5 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so this is 4 over minus 6. So this gradient of AB is minus 2 over 3. So if this is the gradient of AB, then what is the gradient of this red line, which is the perpendicular, which is perpendicular onto this line AB? Yes, when two lines are perpendicular, their gradients are the negative reciprocals of each other. So we got a point onto this red line through the midpoint formula, and we got the gradient of this red line by reciprocating the gradient of this AB. Okay, so here is the equation, that is y minus okay, this is y minus y1, which is 7, that is 3 over 2 into x minus x1. So this is the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So you can leave this equation up to this, and if you want, if for example, sometimes we're given that we have to write the equation in a certain form, so you can then simplify this accordingly. Okay, so you got the point how to write the equation of a perpendicular bisector. Okay, now I have a question for you. This is the um, yeah, question number 4. Okay, you have to try this question. It says, find the equation of the perpendicular bisect the line segment joining this. So you please try these questions out. Okay, now look at this A part. I actually wanted you to try this first before looking at this part. Now, this point A is, that is, let's say this is the point A, which is 5, comma 2, and this is the point B, which is minus 3 comma 6. So since we write on the perpendicular equation, the perpendicular bisector, so this means we need to have the midpoint of these 2 points. So let's find, this is going to be 5 plus minus 3 over 2 comma 2 plus 6 over 2. Okay, so this is going to be 2 over 2. This is 1 comma 4. So this point is 1 comma 4. The next is, through the gradient of AB, will be determining the gradient of this perpendicular bisector. Okay, now the M of AB is going to be y2 minus y1. This is 6 minus 2 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so that is going to be 4 over minus 8. That is minus half. So the gradient of this line is minus half. So for our perpendicular bisector, the gradient is going to be 2. We have to take its negative reciprocal. Okay, now this is a simple thing. We'll be using this formula here. Okay, uh, we'll say that, okay, now this y minus y1, that is equal to m into x minus x1. This is y minus 4 equal to 2 into x minus 1. You can simplify it if you want. Y minus 4 is equal to 2x minus 2. So y is equal to 2x plus 2. So that is the required equation. The equation of the perpendicular bisector of the points 5, 2 and minus 3, 6. You must be able to try and do these parts B and C. Okay, C part. Now suppose the point minus 2 minus 7 is our point A, is minus 2 comma minus 7, and this is the point B, which is 5 comma minus 4. So the first thing we do, we have to find the midpoint, that is x1 plus x2 over 2, that is minus 2 plus 5 over 2 comma minus 7 plus minus 4 over 2. Okay, so we have this as 3 over 2 comma minus 11 over 2. That is a midpoint. Now the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the gradient of AB is minus 4 plus 7 over 5 plus 2. So that is 3 over 7. So this means we have this point. Now this is a very weird kind of a question. This is 3 over 2 comma minus 11 over 2. Now the gradient of this perpendicular bisector will be minus 7 over 3. Okay.
Now the 5 minus 2 is 7 over 2 to
you're adding them, my dear. 5 minus 2 is 3. This is 3 over 2. When you find the midpoint, you this is x1 plus x2 over 2. Okay. Now the equation is going to be y plus 11 over 2, that is minus 7 over 3 into x minus 3. I'll just leave it up to this. That's it. Because we are not required to simplify this. Otherwise, you can take the LCMs and do the cross multiplication to get to the required form. Okay, so that is how you write the equation of a perpendicular bisector. Remember the two words perpendicular and the bisector. Bisector meaning passing to the midpoint, and perpendicular meaning making a right angle. And through this perpendicular, you determine the gradient, and through this bisector, you get a point on this perpendicular bisector, because to write the equation of a line, we need a point, at least a point, and the gradient. Okay, I hope you understood this.
yes, sir.